Bonnie here. Happy Lord's Day. I'm overdue for a video only because I have been fighting a sinus cold for the last 10 days and I'm at the tail end of it now, and so because I feel better and my voice is not as bad as it was like a couple of days ago, I can actually make a video today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I am going to share with you a letter that I wrote to one of my subscribers. He's a Jehovah Witness and he has been following me almost since the beginning. And it's only been in the last couple of months where he's really kind of been challenging me with this whole issue of God's name. And and of course, you know, if you know anything about Jehovah Witnesses, they believe that they have the one true religion. They are the ones that are the true Christians, the ones that are really saved because they call God by the name of Jehovah. So he's been asking me, you know, he's been sending me messages to my YouTube account asking me, so what do you think about God's name? What kind of conclusions have you come to? Do you know that it occurs, you know, God's name occurs more than, you know, 6,000 times in the Bible, in the Old Testament alone? And this and that. I mean, and he was asking me a while back, you know, if you're going to have a relationship with God, don't you need to know his name? If you're going to have a relationship with anyone, don't you know their name? And so, you know, they believe, Jehovah Witnesses believe that because they know the name of God and they refer to God as Jehovah, which they believe is his name, you know, they believe that they have true salvation. They are the true Christians. They know the truth. Okay. I don't agree with that. And honestly, I didn't want to have to do all the research that I did because to me it's not relevant. It's not important to my walk. It has nothing to do with my salvation to me. And the only reason why I did all this research was so that I can actually just get him off my back. Anyways, for the purposes of this video, to protect his privacy, I won't be saying his real name. I won't be using his or telling you his YouTube username. I'll just be calling him Steve. Okay? So Steve probably asked me 3 or 4 times about this, and the first couple times I didn't really answer him back because it wasn't all that important to me. The only reason why I did the research and I actually replied to him was because he kept asking me. Honestly, to me it's like a distraction. It's something that I could spend months and months and months researching. Okay, and I did do a good amount of research. Not everything that I learned and I researched was in the letter because there was just too much. There was just too much information. I probably have about 6 to 7 pages worth of notes that I took from reading various Hebrew articles, going on different Hebrew websites, going on different apologetics websites, and you know, I just gathered all this information. And so I just want to read you the letter because I think that it's important for just, you know, it's important for us to know, you know, in general, and I think that it will be helpful to some just to hear it. And basically I just want to share it with you. So I'm going to go ahead and record that now. Okay guys, so here is the letter that I wrote, and I'll just go through it. Hi Steve, thanks for checking in. Hope you have been healthy, happy, and full of love and light. Since I've been doing my daily Bible readings, I do see that his name is there numerous times. Even though he is referred to as the Lord in the Bible, I know that the phrase refers to the Tetragrammaton, Yod-He, Wah-He. I don't doubt that it is important. After all, we are referring to the creator of the universe, so it is pretty darn important. However, I believe that honoring God's name is not just about referring to him or addressing him with a particular word. In Hebrew, a name is more than just words to call someone or something. The name of God concerns his character, reputation, his authority, his very essence. His name is bound up with who he is. Giving praise to God, having a relationship with him, and showing reverence to him is much more than uttering Jehovah. I see that you seem to have somewhat of an obsession with knowing and calling him by a specific name, but the spirit of that insistence is contrary to my understanding of Father's character. He does not require this of us, just like he does not require us to be at a certain spiritual level in order for him to save us. He loves us freely, unconditionally. It seems that your insistence on calling him Jehovah is a direct result of being caught up in a religion. The obsession with uttering the name is nothing but a product of man-made attempts to distinguish themselves as being right or having the real truth. It's arrogant religiosity, and I'm sad you don't see it. It's the same blind haughtiness that is seen from the Pharisees of the Bible. If I had to call God by a name, which I don't have to, as Jehovah Witnesses would like to insist, the more accurate and theoretically closest name to call him would be Yahweh. Actually, it's Yod-He-Wah-He, or Yahweh, which would be the English transliteration. The reason I believe it would be Yahweh is because there is not now nor ever has been a J sound in the Hebrew or Aramaic language. The J sound was only introduced a couple of hundred years ago, and Jehovah is actually an artificial hybrid name of Yahweh and the vowels in the Hebrew word Lord, which is Adonai. Jehovah is a hybrid name that most Hebrew scholars agree is a mistransliteration. That being said, there is still no consensus on even the pronunciation of his name. And the same goes for Jesus. In the same way that Yahweh was Latinized to form Jehovah, then the name Jesus is a Latinized version of the Greek. That said, a more accurate rendering would be Yeshua, which is his name in Hebrew. However, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be calling God Jehovah. I don't have any issues with that. You can call him whatever you want, and so can I. It is simply a name that came into being somewhere along history's timeline. I think the God of the universe is smart enough to know that a measly little human like you and I are referring to him when we call him Jehovah or God or Father or Lord, as long as we are calling upon him in spirit and in truth. He is smart enough to know that we would one day find ourselves arguing about who is right about his name and who is wrong. He is smart. Actually, he's a genius. The genius above all geniuses. He knew that there would be all kinds of religions, denominations, and people that would argue over him, his name, who his son is, whether he even exists, etc. He always knew. In fact, the insistence of calling God by a certain name in and of itself is a departure from the true spirit of the gospel, which is Father's grace. In other words, he doesn't require of us any works to earn salvation, including addressing him with a specific title. Finally, I bring up Jesus, who taught us how to pray. He never told us it was required to use God's name, did he? He said to call him Father. But wait, you really don't care about what Jesus said, because according to the Jehovah Witness religion, Jesus was just a man, or he was Archangel Michael, or something ridiculous like that, right? Bottom line is, when verses in the Bible tell us to proclaim his name throughout the earth, I believe God wants us to let others know who he is, his nature, his character, his spirit, his existence. Not merely know or use a personal pronoun. Since you are always asking me questions, may I ask some to you? Do you ever question your elders, the Watchtower? Were you born into Jehovah Witness religion? Or did you grow up as a Jehovah Witness? Have you ever researched outside the Jehovah Witness organization in depth? Do you know the history of its founder? Do you believe that if I don't call God Jehovah, that I am not saved? Or that I truly cannot have a relationship with him? If so, according to who? Is it wrong to call him Father or Lord? If it is wrong, according to who? I'm very interested in hearing your answers. Steve, I researched this for you. I didn't do this for myself because, frankly, it's irrelevant to my walk and to my salvation. However, I do hope you will also research your truth outside of Watchtower literature. If you do, I believe you will come to the same conclusions about God's name that I have. Ears to hear and eyes to see, both are gifts from the Lord. Proverbs 20:12. Love and blessings, Connie. So there it was. That was the letter. Let me know what you guys think. I actually did a lot of research. There was so much information, like kind of like historical stuff. There's something called the Masoretic text, which was created, from the traditionalists, the Jews that were considered the traditionalists. There's also theories that vowel points were added later on. It was never in the original Hebrew, in the original text. So there's just so much information that I was not able to put inside the letter because I was trying to get the point across that, it's not about calling God by a specific name and pounding that down into somebody's throat. And can you imagine someone who has just been saved and then having like a Jehovah Witness challenging that person and asking them, oh, are you really saved? Do you really have a true relationship with God? Because you don't call God by his true name, which is Jehovah. Do you see the danger in that? And to, like, let's say a newly born again Christian, they would have no idea. And by doing that, by challenging them with a question like that, which is totally a moot point, has nothing to do with salvation, it can lead them down the wrong road. It can lead them into deception, and it can be overwhelming for them. It took me weeks actually to gather all this information, and not even half of it was inside the letter. It took me weeks of researching, reading articles, like I said before, going on Hebrew websites and apologetics websites. And how can you expect a young believer, a newer believer, to go and do that? It's overwhelming, and they would probably throw up their hands and just give it up altogether and say, screw this faith crap, and I'm just gonna go and do my own thing. Like, there's just too much. I don't understand. I'm confused, And so what the bottom line is for me is that our faith is simple, and then all these sort of man-made religions will come and try to distract us from what's really important, and that's just simply having a relationship with God, who is our Father. We all have dads. We all have fathers. I don't call my dad by his actual name. I call him Dad. And that's the same with the God of our universe. The one who really gave us life is our Father, our Heavenly Father, and that's what I choose to call him. Yeah, so that's just my opinion. You guys, some of you may disagree with me. Yeah, let me know what you think of the letter. I'm pretty proud of it. I spent a lot of time on it, and I probably won't do something like that again because honestly, in a certain way, it is a waste of time because it has nothing to do with my salvation. It doesn't. It's irrelevant to me, and I'm secure in my foundation. I'm secure in my faith, and I know that I'm saved. Anyways, thanks for listening, guys, and I will catch you in the next video. Have a good night.